What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Zoo. Now, I know it's been a few days since the last episode was actually uploaded. I have been playing a very spooky game known as The Forest. If you guys are at all interested in seeing that, I highly recommend you do so. There is a playlist in my playlist tab for The Forest, so if you want to check that out, that is the way to do it. But today, here on Planet Zoo, what I want to try to do, now, we did have 3 enclosures in this one area before. Now, it's only flamingos. So we have 2 species over here. We have our tortoises, which there are a ton of, maybe too many. And we have our Indian peafowl as well. So what I want to try to do is relocate. Obviously, those habitats right there were just temporary. So I want to relocate at least the tortoises, tortoisei, today in their own brand new enclosure. And the way I want to go about doing that is actually by making a dome. You guys probably saw it in the thumbnail. I have no idea how I'm going to accomplish this. Other than that, I've already made a blueprint for a dome. So I actually pre-made 2 domes. First, I started with this smaller version. Now, if you guys want to know how to make domes, there are a plethora of tutorials on this on the old boob tube. So be sure to check one of those out if you are at all curious. It's fairly simple, but the small one, not near enough space for our tortoises, especially with how many we have. So I made an even bigger one. It's not near as pretty, this one, but I think it'll do the job. So we're gonna start by roughly placing it down right over here. I would like for each of the ugly ends, because sometimes it just doesn't line up correctly, I would like the ugly end to be away from the main path. That looks pretty good there. Slide it on into position. I want it close to the path, but maybe give us enough space to put down some flowers, little decoration or something. All right, I think right there should be about perfect. So we'll go ahead and place that down there. $7,300. Of course, we're not too worried about it. We have 239,000 bucks right now. It looks like our Gila monster has had offspring. I know someone told me I wasn't pronouncing that right. I'm so sorry. It does happen from time to time. So if we go into our zoo under our animals, it should list our new Gila monster in here somewhere. God, look at how many tortoises we have, dude. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And we can't even do anything with the babies yet because you can't put them in the trade center until they're at least an adult. Nobody's gonna want a baby tortoise, I guess. So down here we have some Brazilian wandering, I always want to say wandering spiders. We have 3 captive births. So I'm gonna take all 3 of those, and we're gonna send them to the trade center. And then let's get back in here. It looks like we actually have 2 Gila monsters. We have Ontario and Embrace, just born. We're gonna move those 2 over to the trade center as well. So at the trade center, obviously we only really need 2 Gila monsters and 2 Brazilian wandering spiders in the exhibit. If we have any more than that, it might start to get kind of overcrowded, but also, once they hit the trade center, we can get a ton of money for trading these animals to other zoos. So I'm going to select all 5 of them, and we're going to quick trade for $3,200. Go ahead and confirm that. While it is sad that we are having to get rid of a couple of these animals, I think in the long run it's going to be worth it. Habitat cleanliness is a disease risk. Is it the peafowl or the tortoises? It's the tortoises. Alrighty. So I think another thing that I want to try to do with this new exhibit is get a keeper hut closer to the door to the exhibit. The more time it takes for the keeper to travel from their hut to the exhibit, the more time it gives the animals to create feces in that exhibit and possibly contaminate it and make it a disease risk. So we're gonna try to combat that by putting keeper huts literally right outside of each habitat gate. The flamingos are fine for now, but I definitely wanna tackle that at some point. Let's keep focusing on the dome here. I'm just gonna leave it paused so nothing bad happens. Now I think I wanna put the door to this exhibit here because on the opposite side of it, I could also have an exit, and that might actually look pretty good. Otherwise, we could try to do one here and maybe one on this side. So it's more of an L shape rather than a straight through the dome. That could work as well. Or we could cut it straight down the center this way so that the exit is over here and then the path doesn't have to get that much different. I think we're gonna go with that route instead. So we're gonna get into edit mode right here, just on this one piece. We're gonna delete that, the wood trim, and the wood trim on the inside as well. There we go. Now all we have to do is get a plaster wall to fill this weird gap up here, and then maybe a plaster or otherwise stone archway. There we go. That'll work for now. If we have to move it up some more, we can. Let's go now to the archways for the stone. We have a dry stone arch. I think I'd like something that's square. God, do we even have anything? We might not. Ooh, we could do a dry stone doorway though, because then we could put a gate on it to let visitors in more easily. Oh, guest gate's a double wide though. I did not think that through. Is there another one? There's not. Okay, not a huge deal. So we can still work with the guest gate, but I don't think we're gonna be able to use this archway here, which is kind of unfortunate. But we'll just continue on regardless. Now, on the other side over here, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. So we're gonna get rid of all the trim pieces here. We're gonna get another plaster wall from this side and get it into position right there. Looks good. So right now what I'm trying to do is use the guest gate to our advantage and have it actually create our first path into this new exhibit. I think if I place it down here, it might not look too bad. No, that works for me. Okay, next it's gonna try to get us to do some walls here by the looks of things. So I actually want to switch this to the null wall because what we have to do now is basically run a fence all the way around the inside of this dome so that it's technically an enclosure. So what I'm gonna do is place down a barrier and then move it into the corner where the two walls for the dome meet, and then we're just gonna keep doing that all the way around. So place down, move to the corner, continue. Place down, move to the corner, continue. You guys get it. So now that we've gotten to the other door on the opposite side here, you can see I've started to work my way around this dome. Obviously, we can't have the tortoises walking over this path. So what I want to try to do is make a dip in the actual ground so that the tortoise can go underneath the path to either side of the dome. So I'm gonna stop with the habitat surrounding for right now, and we're gonna add another habitat gate on this side so we can start running our path through the center. And there we go. So now we have two guest gates into the habitat. I'm hoping that they're gonna work. I haven't actually tested any of this. Just sort of doing this on a whim. I figure it'll work, but I'm really not quite sure. Okay, now with this path, they are not connecting. So I have to figure out if there's some way that I can get this to work. There we go. Okay, finally figured it out. The path system in this game is still kind of garbage, just like it was in Planet Coaster, but that's all right. We're figuring out these subtle ways that we can actually get the path to do the thing that we want it to do. So now that we're done with the path, I'm gonna go into our terrain tool here, and I'm going to try my very best to get this to work. Now that I've made our little divot, I think now would be a good time to try to get the path to go through. Otherwise, I might try to smooth this out quite a bit beforehand, just to hopefully prevent complications down the road. All right, that looks smooth enough to me. I think now it's time to run our path, hopefully, if all goes well. There we go, and now we have our little bridge. It looks like maybe it's not gonna be quite deep enough though, this little divot that I made for the tortoises to actually walk underneath of it. I'm still going to try to make it work, but for right now, I think we'll just leave it as it is, and we'll see if they can crawl underneath. Now back to barriers, I'm gonna be using the one-way glass to hopefully make the turtles feel like they're not being watched the entire time, even though they definitely are. Okay, I think if I bring the glass out to here, as you can see, it is the one-way glass because this side is tinted, the other side is clear as day. So if we now switch to the null fence and try to get that brought across here, this is where the terrain starts to move downward. Finish it off right there, and then we will switch back to the one-way glass, and we will try to get it to connect to right there. Looks good. Oh, dude, I think this is gonna work out perfectly, or I hope so. Now we're gonna have to run the null fence all the way around the other side of the dome. God, this video is gonna get so chopped up as there is a fly in my office now, absolutely terrorizing me. Finally back at the other habitat gate. So we are going to do the same thing over here, get our one-way glass, and start building this out. All right, now these, I feel like the tortoise may be able to escape, so I'm gonna try to move them in as far as I possibly can. Otherwise, we may have to add some rocks or just a post or something there. Something that actually can intersect the path. All right, and there we go. Now, while that is the habitat basically finished, we still don't have a keeper hut or a gate leading into this one. So what I want to do is actually put the keeper hut right over here, maybe even through this one. We're gonna go into edit mode again. We're gonna knock down this wall here. Perfect. Now on this side, I know that the keeper hut is just a single door, so we can actually use that stone archway we wanted to before. I get it. I tried to get the fly. At this point, I have no idea where it went. I think I got it. We'll hope. All we can do at this point is hope. Alrighty, back to it then. Gonna get our stone archway, put that up right there. Looks good. Not gonna be perfect, but I think... Oh, great. Why you not work? Why you not work? Oh, it did work. Okay, I'm just an idiot. Sorry. But there you go. Now we have our keeper gate. It looks fairly good in the doorway, aside from the gap at the top, but it does fit. I mean, the width is pretty spot on. So with that done, let's get ourselves a keeper hut. I'm gonna get it placed down right there. Looks good to me. Now, I know a lot of you want to see me actually make the buildings look good. You want to see me church up the buildings. I've said this before, but I am waiting for my mechanics to finish their research so I can actually have some good architectural items to use. Right now, everything would look pretty generic, pretty basic, and you guys know I'm not really one for that. So we got to hold out for the time being. It's going to be okay, I promise, but the buildings are going to look pretty ugly for quite some time, so just bear with me on that. Next, staff paths. I want to make this path look like the others. We're going to change that. We're going to add a tee-off section right here in the center. That's going to connect up to our original staff path around the outside of the park. Now, while this is looking good, I don't think we're going to have power out here, so let's check in our heat maps under power. It has some, but I don't know if that's going to be considered enough. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but we do have a ton of lights on the ceiling of the dome in here. So I want to make sure that those lights can actually turn on, in which case I think now is a good time to place down our first transformer that we're actually going to need. The first one we didn't really need. So if I do place it down here, it looks like we're going to have enough coverage to cover the entirety of the dome. However, I want to make sure that it doesn't interfere with the guests' happiness. I don't want it to have a negative impact on them. Right here, it looks to be like it's going to be okay. We'll get that placed down there. Now, how many keepers do we actually have? Only 2. So we have 2 keeper huts, if I remember correctly. We're gonna create a new work zone for them here with their facility and the habitat. This will be for 1 keeper and 1 keeper alone. Then of course they're gonna need a staff building, I believe. Which, do we have a staff building? I think just this one, right? We may need another staff building in that case. I don't want them to walk that far away. So we're gonna get rid of that selection over there. I'm gonna place down another before we actually make our work zone decision here. Just here. Now, I don't think that's going to negatively impact the guests, although we should probably check. No, we are still good. Okay. Now, the staff zone doesn't currently have any sort of perk with it, so we have to figure out what we want to do. I believe we did social club on the last one. Let's do a rec room here. Now, back to our keepers. I think I'm going to put Jerome Quigley. Excellent name. We're gonna create his work zone for over here. So, oh wait, we already started a work zone, I guess. So let's add the staff building into that now. And this is going to be the turtle keeper work zone. I realize that they're tortoises. Can I spell tortoise? Absolutely not. So we're just gonna call it the turtle keeper zone. That works for me. All right. So we've got all the basics covered now. We have our habitat surrounding done. We haven't done any decoration yet, of course, but we also have a staff room. We have a keeper hut, and we have power for the facilities. So we are looking super good here. I think the last thing to do is probably connect this path with here. And aside from that, we're probably going to have to get our first tortoises put into their new habitat. So I'm actually going to grab both adults from over here. We have Femi, who's the female. She's gonna get moved into this new habitat over here. And then we have to add big man on campus, Yazid. He's gonna get moved into the new habitat as well. Now, I think I may have messed things up, because if you look at our habitat here, it almost looks like maybe this area is going to be the habitat. So I might have to rework the habitat surrounding, but I suppose we'll find out here in due time. Wait, what? Oh, we don't have a keeper assigned to these. Whoops. We are going to hire another keeper. Place them down right here. So Joanne Chapel, she's going to be our new keeper here. I think the first thing that we should do is give her a work zone of her own. So this keeper hut will be for her. She can use this staff facility or the other one we have here. And she's going to cover just these smaller exhibits. And we're going to call this one the small reptile / insect keeper zone. Should work out just fine. There we go. Now we shouldn't have any issues with people taking care of these smaller exhibits. Here's our first tortoise coming in right now. We're gonna see if we can't turn this habitat into something they can actually use. This should be Femi first. Ooh, and our inspector just left. Let's see what they had to say. Cleanliness, 5 stars. That's surprising. Education 3, habitat 6, 4 stars. Okay, fine by me. We can work with this. Femi, how you doing, girl? No, this is Yazid. Wow, Yazid was here first. I moved him second. And now Femi has shown up. Okay, great. Well, obviously, they're gonna need enrichment and all that good stuff. Let's see how they're doing on the terrain. They need less short grass, more long grass, and more sand if we can. So I'm gonna turn this little divot that I made into sand, I think. Here we go. That gives them the little bit of sand that they wanted. They have plenty of space in here, which is good. Let's decrease the amount of short grass they have by giving them a little bit of soil right at the entryway here. I'm gonna try to do long grass around the outside of the exhibit so it doesn't get in the way of the glass fence. Okay, and now their terrain requirements have been satisfied. Let's see what else we can do here. It looks like they have enough quote-unquote hard shelter due to the fact that they're encased in this new dome, which is great. That was honestly the whole plan of this, was so that if we go over here to check on their old habitat and we click on any one of these tortoises, it don't matter. Okay, this one's hungry. That's actually not good. We're gonna have to move all these other ones as well. But if we go into habitat, their lowest point right now is hard shelter. Now, check this out. If we go into heat maps under habitat for shelter and we click on one of these tortoises, look at this. Each piece of bedding under here is basically one spot for one tortoise. We have like 70 of these dudes. So one big dome is really the best thing for all of them. Now, of course, the tortoises are gonna need food, they're gonna need water, they're gonna need enrichment. So we're gonna go through that really quick here. First thing, probably a large food trough would be the smart move. So I'm going to place one large food trough as close to the glass as I possibly can. I think right there ought to do. And then we're gonna do the water pipe just over here. All right, perfect. So now we have that done. I need to give them a reason to probably want to walk over here. So I think I'm gonna put their enrichment items on this side. First, we have a block of frozen food. That's a new thing that we just unlocked for them. We have a dog ball. I guess they like playing with the dog balls as well. We have a small ice ball enrichment. We'll plop that down for them. Sprinkler, of course, small ball, colorful. I guess they just really like balls. Now, don't take that the wrong way, all right? They're just tortoises. They don't know any better. We'll do scent enrichment here, maybe a fruit tree spike right there, and I think that ought to do it. But, of course, we do need a sprinkler, so I'm gonna put a sprinkler in this back corner right here, plop that down there. Next, we gotta worry about how hot they are, how cold they are, all that good stuff. Let's check in their Zoopedia on what they need for temperature. Anywhere from 61 to 108 degrees Fahrenheit. We're gonna grab them a heater here. I think I'm gonna try to put it in the center, just here, and we're gonna get this thing set to at least 61. I can confirm just now, I did not kill the fly. It is still at large. And they shouldn't need a cooler since they're in a building here. The lights don't appear to be working, which is kind of unfortunate. I was really hoping on those working. Maybe there's a light switch or something that I'm missing. I have no idea. Ooh, we have our first guests walking into the habitat. That's what I like to see. Oh, dude, these tortoises, they're gonna love it. They are gonna love it. Look at that. Everything 100%, enrichment 100%, all across the board. They are absolutely loving it right now. This is perfect. And it looks like Femi is gonna be the first one to make the trek underneath the little bridge that we made for him right here. Something I did just forget, and I forget probably all the time. We need some donation bins so that people can, you know, give us a little some for building such a great habitat for these animals. We're gonna do one donation box right there. That should be perfect. Now, of course, people are going to want to learn about these animals as well, so we're gonna have to set up a little bit of viewing education for them. We'll do one TV right there, move over to the other side. We'll do the other here. That way, right as they walk in the door, they can immediately get educated about what the animal in the exhibit is. It's always kind of a pain when you get into a new exhibit, there's like no signs anywhere. You don't really know what's gonna be in there, especially if it's one like for insects or something. You can't even see them anyways. Let's grab ourselves 2 educational speakers. We're gonna put these just in front of those TVs. All right, and now we can go through and make sure they're set on the algebra giant tortoise. Range of 5 should be fine for that. I always wanna say algebra giant tortoise. I don't know why. I guess the words are just super similar. And there we go. Looking good, dude. So now people can actually donate. They can learn a little bit about the animals. And Femi is almost, she's so close, making it underneath the little bridge here. I think that was a really good idea. Let me know what you guys think, of course. But now we have to try to move in all the other flamingos, or not flamingos, I just got the flamingo update, all the other tortoises that we have. Got some mechanic research just completed, shelters and climbing. We should probably continue the East Asia theme as we already started it, but I think we're gonna move to probably souvenir shops, maybe, or staff facilities. Oh, I don't know. All right, let's do staff facilities just because we haven't yet. Actually, we'll leave Hazel off of something. That way we have a mechanic still out and about trying to do some work. All right, let's check in on how many different tortoise we have moved over. We have 5. We have 5 moved over thus far. Not doing too bad. And now we should probably try to adjust their food grade because I haven't done that yet. Let's check. Food quality, grade 1 is what we're currently feeding them. Let's bump that up to 194 per feed at grade 3 food quality. That should be much better. Uh-oh, facility broke down. Really? Wow, okay. That's our first ATM breakdown. Our mechanic's on it though. Yeah, I'm not sure how to get these lights working and turned on. It's very frustrating to me. See, dude, the tortoises are bringing in the buck right here. $5,400 in the first day of them being open. That's donations by 279 people. That's amazing. It is doing so well. And we got other tortoises coming in now as well. I know welfare is gonna start to go down here. Hard shelter should be fine. Who did this? What is that, a carton of eggs? Dude, what the heck? All right, well, it's obvious we need some trash bins over here, so let's go ahead and take care of that. Perfect. Okay, so now we shouldn't theoretically have any trash on the path, but I do think it's about, oh, the lights do turn on, but only at night. That kind of sucks. I wish I would have made the top glass then. Shoot. Well, all right. That's fine. Now we got to connect this path because obviously we want the guests moving through it, not going in and then coming out the same way. So I'm going to delete this straight section and we're going to keep curving it around. There we go. Now we can get this connected just like that. Perfect. Okay, it looks a little funny, but it'll work. And then let's do the same thing we did on the front side and grab our recycling and trash bins for the exit, just in case they still forgot to throw away their trash for whatever reason. Also, you just shouldn't bring food into an exhibit. That's probably not the smartest move there, folks. Okay, I think it's pretty obvious we're gonna need another janitor as well, as that trash on the floor still hasn't been picked up. Go ahead into staff here. We only have 2 currently. Probably a good idea to get 1 more. I'm sorry, they're not janitors, they're caretakers. My bad. And there's our 3rd now. Perfect. Getting right to work. It does look like people are still coming in and going out the same door. I don't really think there's anything I can do to prevent that other than maybe putting something else that they want to see over here. I don't know, but we got time. I'm not too worried about it. How are the tortoises doing? Enrichment is low. Species food enrichment. All right, they need more food enrichment. They have plenty of toys. Oh, how does the keeper get across? I haven't actually seen this yet. Does the keeper go underneath the path? No, right over top. Interesting. Alrighty. I want to check on the adults, make sure they're still happy at the very least. Enrichment 80%. Could be worse. Could be worse. I'd say we're doing pretty well. Okay, it is raining. Let's make sure that we didn't miss any tortoises. We did. All right, you, sir. you have got to go. It is not safe for you in here anymore, as nobody is taking care of your habitat. All right, any others? Any others? We have you over here. Why did you guys get left behind? Go be with your family. Habitat 14, that's your new home. I don't know for sure if you can just delete the habitat, if it deletes everything inside, so I'm gonna try that first. Oh, that's right, you can only delete the barrier. Ooh, well that ain't gonna work, because we need the other barrier on that side. So let's delete this section here, and we'll delete this bit here. There we go. That way the peafowl are still living, doing their thing. We got to get rid of all of this stuff in here. Let's go back into terrain, and we're gonna make it look like nothing ever happened here. There we go. Done deal. Ooh, greater flamingo about to have offspring. That's what I like to see. How are these guys doing anyways? Enrichment is low. She's hungry. All right, well, she's eating right now, so that's good. So I suppose we should probably tend to the flamingos as well. However, we do have a challenge at the moment, which is release 2 greater flamingos to the wild. Why there's a picture of a panda here instead, I have no idea, but I suppose we should probably do that. Let's sort this by appeal so we can get rid of the lowest appeal flamingos. That's probably the best way to go about doing this. All right, bottom of the totem pole is Farida. We're gonna select her. Assad has a bronze star, so I'm not trying to get rid of him. Do we have any males that are this low? Yes, we do. We have Mahir. So how about we do Mahir, who's 750 with no bronze or silver or gold medals. And then we will do Farida as well. We will send both of them to the trade center. All right, I know Farida was about to have offspring. Maybe we should have waited. It's probably too late now. It's fine. If we release them to the wild, at least Farida, that's 8 conservation credits. We cannot release Mahir, unfortunately. Otherwise, we could do a quick trade for 112 bucks. Dude, the smaller exhibit animals are worth more than the larger ones. That doesn't make any sense to me. Let's do a trade for 9 conservation credits. Action complete. Moving on. We can only quick trade Mahir, so we are going to have to just do that. Confirm. There we go. And did we get our achievement? Maybe? Oh, 59 minutes. Okay, that's going to take a minute. Oh. We were supposed to release them to the wild, so let's maybe try to pick 2 more flamingos. We got tons of flamingos. I'm not too worried about it. There we go. All right, achievement done. Claim rewards. I believe 750 big ones for that. Not too bad. Okay, flamingos, hopefully they can start breeding again, because we're gonna need at least 4 new ones now after that. I made an oopsie. Yep, all right, greater flamingo about to mate. Already getting on it, Ilham. That's what I like to see, dude. And I think the last thing on the agenda today is to get a new keeper hut placed down over here. Let's check the mechanic research really quick. Continue on the staff facilities, please, Solomon. Thank you very much, dude. Rotate that around. We're gonna place it just outside of this gate. Again, we want to keep the distance from the keeper hut to the habitat gates as short as possible. Now, if we go into staff, we have Eloise. I don't know how to pronounce her name. We're gonna create her a new work zone as well. Ooh, we should probably get a staff room close to here also. And for this one, for the perk, we're gonna do a rec room as well. There we go. All right, keeper work zone does not include. Oh, I know this. I know. It's fine. We're gonna move the peafowl as well. Relax. All right, work zone 3. That was the one we were working on. Okay, this is going to be the flamingo keeper zone. Got it. All right, edit work zone. We're gonna add this habitat and these 2 buildings here. That should be all that the keeper needs. Perfect. So now we have 1 keeper on the flamingos specifically. We have 1 keeper on the turtles or the tortoises. And then we have another keeper on the small reptile and insect zones. So we are currently looking at a area where the peafowl are no longer being taken care of by anyone. So we're going to have to hire another keeper temporarily. Plop you down there, and you aren't going to have a work zone, but you will just take care of the peafowl just because you're a nice person. God, this exhibit has to be my new favorite though. Like it is perfect. It's not the prettiest, I will admit, on the inside. There's no decoration or anything, but the tortoises don't really need that. So why put it in? You know, if it's not necessary, in fact, it may actually hurt them in the long run because they don't like any coverage. They don't really care for very many plants. So I think this is the best way to go here. All right, Taskeen is about to have offspring as well. Perfect. The fly. Oh, the fly is currently on my arm. Oh my, I just I just swatted my own hand. Okay, after I get done recording this episode, I will not stop until I successfully murder that fly. It is beyond annoying. So everything in the zoo seems to be going swimmingly. We have a beautiful flamingo habitat. We now have a pretty massive tortoise enclosure here in a dome. Everything's looking pretty good. The only thing we have to do next is move the peafowl, and then as soon as we get them transplanted into their new area, we should be able to hopefully pick up some new animals. So I think I'm gonna wind this episode down here. Once again, if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.